Namaskaram to all of you. We welcome you today for our pilot episode in the Wellness series. We are in conversation with Dr. Arun of Niraamaya Retreats and Neeta Naidoo of Niyama Yoga, UK. Following a major back surgery over 20 years ago, Neeta turned towards yoga practice, which helped her develop her strength and looked after her well-being. She gave up the world of business in 2002 to study the practice of yoga in depth. She teaches from personal experience and is trained in Iyengar, Kundalini Yoga, the fluid flow of vinyasa, breathing, meditation, and the art of combining all aspects of yoga practice as a whole. Her students will vouch that her teaching style is direct, yet compassionate and uplifting. Neeta is based in UK and offers weekly classes at some of the finest clubs and hotels there, in addition to private sessions and annual retreats at Greece and our very own Niraamaya Retreats in Kerala.
Yes.
Dr. Arun Sudhakar, the Ayurveda Physician, as the award-winning Niraamaya Wellness Retreats, brings to Niraamaya Spa an in-depth knowledge of the ancient practice of Ayurveda, combined with an intricate knowledge of human physiology. His expertise, immense experience, and knowledge of Ayurvedic practices, combined with natural therapeutic traditions, are the guiding light behind the globally acclaimed Niraamaya Spa. Dr. Arun specializes in Ayurvedic Panchakarma therapies, Western massages, and skincare treatments. He has a strong grasp of body's natural balance and energy flow, as well as how it is affected by the stresses and strains of modern lifestyle. Dr. Arun and his team of well-trained therapists have curated a spa menu that encompasses holistic wellness practices and also pays attention to lifestyle management and diet to create a sanctuary of holistic wellness for our clients. This series will focus on Ayurveda and yoga as complementary practices that offer transformative tools for achieving greater health and vitality. Our purpose is to protect the health of the healthy and alleviate the disorders in the diseased. While Ayurveda and yoga focus on the balance of body, mind, and soul, it is important for us to learn about the various energy centers that connect these three. Ancient Hindu and Buddhist scriptures believe that there are various focal points in your body known as the chakras. In today's session, we shall speak about chakra, which literally means the wheel, but can also be considered as a cycle. Neeta, a question for you.
Yes.
How does yoga help us balance our energy centers?
How does yoga help balance our energy centers? Well, first and foremost, yoga is said to be the union of the body and the mind and the soul, the body, mind, soul. But the central focus of the practice is the mind. And the mind sits between the body and the soul. So when we practice yoga, we practice to cultivate a peaceful, concentrated mind. So, Hatha Yoga, as it's practiced today, especially in the West, one of the many forms of yoga, is also recognized as a stand-alone practice, and it has a wide range of benefits. The actual asanas, which are the postures, are largely practiced, and they are experienced more on a physical level. So when we practice, we have this rippling effect from the body to the mind, which affects our mental, emotional, and hopefully spiritual state.
Yes.
Now, when we practice, like the brain instructs the body, and you need to really feel the practice through your heart. If we practice regularly, then that practice can really help you tune into the energy centers.
All right.
So when you talked about the chakras, there are 7 energy centers. There are 7 main chakras in our body. And so they originate from the spinal cord to the top of the head. So the back of the head. And the tip of the head. Now, each chakra is a stand-alone energy center. And each chakra has its own unique importance in our well-being.
Okay.
Right? So if, for instance, one or two or more of the chakras are what we call blocked or not functioning to their best ability, then that is where we become a little or maybe more physically, even emotionally and physiologically imbalanced. So hence, first of all, the practice of the Hatha Yoga helps to get in touch with these energy centers. But then as we develop and become a little more spiritual in the practice, we can really feel how the energy that is generated in the practice by waking up or, just
stimulating them.
Yeah, working through, balancing or working through the energy centers, that brings that balance that we're looking for through the center. I mean, it's a huge subject. We really need to delve into each one,
totally agree.
see
Yes.
how each one really works and what we need to do for each one.
So I'm sure our viewers we will take them through their entire journey of different chakras. I just wanted, I have a question for Dr. Arun now. You have few decades of experience in practicing Ayurveda. What would you like to say to our viewers about this 5,000-year-old science?
Ayurveda, like the word itself is a Sanskrit origin, and in Sanskrit it means the science of life. And it originated like around 5,000 years back. The ancient manuscripts are dated back to that time, and it seeks a knowledge of creating a healthy body through the practicing of a healthy lifestyle, food, and proper exercise. And the literal meaning, as I told you, it's about the science of life, but it also teaches us how to maintain that health of our body.
Yeah,
So, and it is based on an Indian ancient philosophy called Panchapudha Tattva and the 5 elements, which are earth, water, space, and fire. And based on this concept, these 5 elements combine to form 3 doshas, which are the functional aspects of our body. And Ayurveda believes these 5 elements manifest in our body in a unique balance called the Tridosha balance. Each dosha is composed of 2 of these 5 elements. And Ayurveda believes in a doshic balance to stay healthy life. And it also explains about how the imbalances happens, how to deal with that. And the Tridoshas are mere terminologies which are used by the ancient physicians to denote the functional aspects of these doshas, like how they manifest in our body. And these have different roles, different qualities, and different potencies. And these roles combine together to form a natural, ideal human physiology. And Ayurveda guides through the life with wisdom of how to protect yourself from unnatural, there are a lot of things which we encounter daily, like natural and unnatural disruptions, which affect our balance. And it gives us the wisdom of how to deal with such situations and to tackle back to maintain a healthy lifestyle, healthy body. Yeah.
Fantastic. So to reach a state of Niraamaya, one needs to strike a balance between the body, the mind, and the soul, and the energies within, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tell our viewers about the first chakra that we will be focusing on today. The first chakra of our body is called the Root Chakra. It is located at the base of your spine. It connects you to the earth. This chakra is the part that touches the earth when you sit on the ground. Hence, it's known to keep us grounded and connected with the energy of the earth. Well, the color of the earth is red, and the root chakra is identified as the one that is red in color. And now we all know what the color red stands for. It stands for the color of life force, passion, anger. And that's exactly what this chakra governs. It is the color of energy and carries the promise of survival and the connection with the earth. So today, as we focus on tuning up our root chakra, Yogini Neeta and Dr. Arun will guide us with the help of some asanas, Ayurvedic practices, chants, and recommendation on some herbs and foods that will help you balance your Mooladhara, or what we better know now as root chakra. Okay. This chakra opens up your prosperity, belonging, a feeling of security, much needed in today's times. Don't you think so?
Yes.
Well, Neeta, as a yogini practicing yoga for over 20 years, I'm very keen to hear what you have in store for our viewers today to get them to balance, heal, and energize their bodies and mind through this root chakra.
Okay, so look, there are so many postures that we can do for the root chakra in order to open up the root chakra. And as we've already said about the chakras, so many of us have energetic blocks.
Yes.
And the energetic blocks cause the imbalances, as already explained by Dr. Arun. And if we have a blocked or imbalanced root chakra, especially, then because the root chakra governs what we call the lower extremities of the body, so the reproductive organs, the lower spine, the legs, and the feet. Now, if you're imbalanced, then this leaves us feeling very tired, very exhausted, mentally just drained. We can become restless, etc., etc. And of course, that then leads to other ailments, you know, physically or organically, of course, emotionally, definitely, mentally. You know, things like fearfulness can set in, even become insecure, anxiety, depression, all of that. So, you know, as I said, there are many, many postures, but what I thought I'd like to do is, if we just start with what we would normally start with if we work with beginners, would be things like mountain pose, Tadasana, and Bikshasana, tree pose, you know, to look for balance and strength. Uttanasana, standing forward bend, which helps us calm. So I thought what I would like to do is perhaps do Tadasana, which is mountain pose, lying down on the floor first, and then we'd work hand to toe pose, which helps us to open up the hips. And helps us to open up the lower back and the spine. So shall I demonstrate? I'll just have.
Yes, we would love to see you do it.
So I've already given you a short explanation of the hand to knee pose, the hand to toe pose. You can go through that while I'm showing it, and then I can talk about Uttanasana and Bikshasana as well. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do a quick demo. Okay, fine. So let's do that. So I've laid out my mat behind me, and
you're all set.
I just thought I'd get myself organized. So what I'd like to do is like to demonstrate that when we use the ground, and if you have a wall, I'm going to take my mat to the wall, because this really allows us to connect not only to the ground, but it also allows you to connect. If you have your feet to the wall, it will help you work your legs evenly. Sometimes when we stand, because we're not grounded enough or we're not balanced equally, it's very hard to distribute the weight underneath the feet evenly when you're standing. So it's nice to get the feeling when you do it in a supine fashion. So we do it like this sometimes to show people. And of course, even practitioners will always come back here. I will always come back here as a resting pose. You know, so I have a yoga brick, a belt, and I have the wall, and I have my yoga mat. I will lie down. So I will just very simply take my tail towards the wall, lie back, slide back, so you leave your tail going towards the wall. You press your feet into the wall and straighten the legs. This already is helping us to straighten the legs. I'm going to leave my brick there. If you feel you need a support for your head, because some people do need a support for
Okay.
your head. Just because, you know, if you've got tightness in the shoulders, or you suffer from the neck, or you know, low back, so just put a block
A small support.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you adjust accordingly, you lie down. And this is a nice way, first of all, to just get grounded.
Yes, your spine is connected to the earth already.
Completely. So I'll take this away. So you just separate the toes, you press your feet evenly into the wall, you engage your legs, you really feel the legs becoming energetically into the hip sockets. You try and relax the lower back into the ground. No shoulders. It really does give you a nice alignment. And this is your Tadasana. You can take it further, energize the arms by lifting them up and really connecting to the ground. So we call this the Tadasana, but this is supine. Okay?
Okay. So you're stretching your entire body.
I am. And also, let's please remember that yoga is 8-limbed. So you really do want to focus on using your feet, your hands, your legs, and your arms.
Yes.
Let's remember that between the lower triangle and the upper triangle is our house being our spine, the chakras from the base of the spine to the top of the head. So, you know, we want to use the limbs. So here we go. Not everyone can get the big toe. Not everyone is able to get the big toe and stretch it out, right? So
that's right.
We help. We take the belt, we put it around the arch of the foot, and you can straighten your arms and you can lie here. And this already is helping us to work on the flexibility of the leg. You know, some of us might be here. Some of us can work a little deeper. But the belt, you see, as you can see, the belt will help you engage
and correct your posture.
The leg. And keep the alignment. You have the wall, you have the other foot into the wall. I mean, to do this standing up to start with would be a challenge for most of us.
Yes.
We want to get the feeling on the ground. So you can spend time here. And this is also great to recover. If you have backache, if you have sciatica, if you have lower back problems, lie on the floor and you just work through what we call all the lower extremities. You know, just reviving. Okay. Then we would take, this is now already going to help you open the hips. You put the brick. The reason I'm putting a yoga brick here is because I don't want, when I take my leg out, I don't want my entire spine to roll to the side.
Okay,
so this is now helping.
Connection has to be maintained to the earth.
So we've got that strong standing action leg here. Can you see? We've got an open leg here, and now we're already opening the hips.
Okay.
We're opening the hips. We're making space around what we call the root chakra. We're opening the hips up. We're making lots of space. You can stay for 3 to 5 breaths longer. And just begin to exhale.
Okay.
I know that is hard for so many of us to exhale. We're so used to holding, gripping, tensing. Okay? So this is one way of working through the hips. And then, of course, you would do the other side. Okay, obviously, you do both sides.
Yeah, balance is important. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other side to complete the asana.
Absolutely. And please let's remember, we may look symmetrical, but we actually are not that symmetrical. One side is always different to the other. We have one dominant side, we have one weaker side.
I totally agree.
We may be nurturing an injury. You know, we may be unwell, you may have disease of some sort. So, but if you aim to work both sides evenly, then at least we have the opportunity to bring back, if not balance, complete balance, as much balance as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this particular one was the hand to big toe pose, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So it's also known as Supta Pada Angustha Asana. Is that right?
Supta Pada Angustha Asana. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
That means you put spine and hand to toe.
Yeah. So I know you've mentioned that this stretches the structure of the pelvis, the
Yes.
groin, the inner thighs, and the perineal area. And it also improves digestion,
Yeah.
relieves backache or sciatica, like you mentioned, helps
Yes.
in menstrual discomfort, which is a big help for women, and also stimulates the prostrate gland.
It does. It does. And I have
Fantastic.
to tell you, as you said in the introduction, before yoga, before my
Yes.
back surgery, I suffered from sciatica for many years. I didn't know
Oh,
what sciatica was. So all I did was take the anti-inflammatories that I was prescribed by the doctors. Even post-surgery, I still took a lot of anti-inflammatories to help me get through the
mhm.
pain.
Yeah,
Only
but then
when
it would
I,
just relieve the pain for that moment.
I'm sorry,
It would just relieve the pain for that moment.
it's
It
just
doesn't
temporary.
provide long-term benefit at all.
It's not dealing with the root cause of the problem. But when I
Yes.
discovered Iyengar Yoga, and I realized that just by doing some simple work with my legs and strengthening my legs and opening my back, and something so simple like this could take away, if not reduce the pain quite dramatically.
So your root chakra was in imbalance at that point, and you
Obviously,
balanced it. Yeah.
obviously it must have been, because otherwise I wouldn't have had lower back problems, and then my spine just deteriorated, obviously unknowingly, as you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, absolutely,
Well,
yeah.
sitting at our laptops for 8 to 10 hours at a stretch can do that to
We
you.
can do in this day and age. I mean, at the time I wasn't doing that. I was just, I was growing up. We didn't have laptops and gadgets when I was growing
All
up.
right.
So
Okay.
I'm blessed to have lived in that generation or that era as well. Anyway,
Yeah.
so shall we do
Okay.
the next pose?
Let's do that. And while you set up, I'm going to give a tip to all the people who are sitting in front of laptops, which is almost all of us, all the students, all the college goers, all the office goers, as well as homemakers. Make sure you walk around a little bit. Make sure that all your body is stretched well. And we're going to give you enough tips to know exactly how to do it right.
So let's now talk about Bikshasana, which is tree pose. And again,
Oh,
when we're working on more of the challenging hip openers, we have a lot of warrior poses, which are very good as hip opener poses, strengthening. But again, we have to work through them. So what we've just done also takes us into Bikshasana tree pose. And again,
okay.
it's all about standing strength, balance, opening up the hips. So if we just take what we've just done and replicate it in our Bikshasana, and again, if you have the wall, and you can work with the wall, because again, not everyone has balance. You need to develop balance. We don't want people or newcomers or anyone that's coming into yoga to think, and I've had this over the years, I don't do yoga because I'm not flexible enough. I don't do yoga because of this. No, we do yoga to become flexible. We do
Okay.
yoga to find our balance, to develop our strength, standing strength.
So anybody can do yoga, right, Neeta? Anybody can do yoga.
I say yoga is for everybody, and then I'd like to take that term into everybody. Everybody, as in your body is not my body, and my body is not your body. And my body is not what my body was when I started so many years ago.
True.
What I could do then, I can't do everything now.
Yeah.
So I need to still do the practice, but I can adapt my practice. I can still do practice. And there are things that I could do now that I couldn't do when I was younger. It's only because I practiced and I developed that I didn't know that I could develop this kind of inner strength and balance, So, yeah. So let me.
We continue to surprise ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about Bikshasana. Again, you would replicate your mountain pose and do your Bikshasana. You just find your feet, you get your grounding, and you come into your Tadasana. And again,
Okay.
what can I say? But we could stand in Tadasana for a long time. It would take a long time to even develop what we call.
Just standing pose.
Yeah, this is for life. This is for life, you know, to distribute the weight evenly. It changes every day because our days are different. Life is different. But it's all about practice. So we want to look at balance. So the leg that was in the wall, still be standing leg. The leg that went out would be the one, and then you would do both again.
Sure.
So again, you look for balance. You can work on balance. You can do a tiny little tree. You can have your hand on the wall. You don't have to do the full pose, which is
this looks easy.
Standing strength. But if you wish to go into a full Bikshasana, then we're looking at the root. So you need to take the foot into the root, which is the upper inner thigh of your standing leg. So again, you've got the wall if you need it. You look for balance. You work the standing leg into the foot, which then helps you to open your hip.
Okay.
So we don't want to go straight into the pose and try and balance, because a lot of people will do that. They will be rocky here, like try and balance here, but they have to take the arms up. You don't have to take the arms up.
That will be the tree in some stormy wind.
Well, surely it's all about, let's get grounded, let's strengthen what we call the lower extremities, work on that. The growth will come.
Yeah.
You know, the branches will expand. We will grow up here. But first of all, you have to go be here.
Root is critical. It needs to be strong.
So, you know, there's so we'll be in classes. I have so many people saying, oh, I can't balance. And they'll like struggle. And I think, please take it to the wall. Do a little tree. You know, do a little tree. Find your standing balance.
This looks easy. This is something that I could do.
But do you know something, Poonam? Let me tell you, you say that. This is easy, something I can do. Let me tell you, this is equally, you think having a little tree, you try it. Okay, you have to tell me after you've done it. This actually,
I will do that.
This actually can be quite challenging for most people.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
all right.
I tell you, sometimes it's easier to just take the foot up and be rocking around. Because this is really working the standing leg. This is really working the standing leg.
Yes.
It's you know, we think so. Don't be fooled what looks easy.
Yeah. I was hoping I could do at least this much.
You can do it, try it, but we will.
All right. So Bikshasana stretches the thighs and the groin. It builds strength in the ankles and the calves. It tones abdominal muscles. Absolute something that I must try.
So can I please say something on that?
Yes.
When you say it tones, yes, those are one of the benefits, that it does tone the abdominal muscles. Yeah. But I'm just going to take a seat again. But this is where you really do work on the root chakra. This is where, in time, not at the beginning, in time, we would teach students, I would teach students how to practice Mulabandh.
Okay.
In Uttanasana, which is, I'm going to do that next.
Okay, all right. Yes.
Or in Bikshasana. Because when we learn Mulabandh, which is the lifting of the abdominal wall, it's the flying up of the abdominal wall and taking it back, it strengthens the abdominal muscles. And then the byproduct of that is you can then develop a strong...
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
But that's how you learn your Mulabandh, your root lock.
Oh, okay. All right. You mentioned something about Uttanasana.
I'm going to show you Uttanasana. Now, Uttanasana can be done before you start class. It's the pose that's done between poses, because it becomes a resting pose. Okay.
Oh, nice. It could also be done after we finish our yoga practices.
Absolutely.
Relax yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a forward bend. I'm going to do it on a chair first, and then I'm going to do it without the chair. So again, a lot of people find Uttanasana can be challenging because Uttanasana is feet hip width.
Mm-hmm.
So you want your mountain pose legs.
Okay.
You want to engage all that. You want to think about where you had your feet in tree, which will really energize all the way up into your inner upper groins, upper thighs. Then you want to come in half. Now, not everyone can fold in half because maybe they don't have the flexibility in the legs. So you have to ask people to bend their knees, right? So if
could you show us what Uttanasana looks like without the chair and with the chair?
Lots of options. So you can do it by just standing with your feet hip width. If you have back problems, I would do it with your feet hip width.
Okay, all right.
If you don't have spinal problems and your feet are back to work, your legs should put your feet together.
Sure.
If you put your feet hip width, again, you draw up so you work through the legs. The tendency is a lot of people will lean into the heels. We want to distribute the weight. Uttanasana is a forward bend. You have to come forward. You really draw up through the lower belly, really work the legs very energetically, and then otherwise, if you can't take your fingertips on the floor, you can take a brick or a block, or you bend your knees, but it's about finding your forward bend.
Okay.
I am very mindful, because for me, every day is different.
Yes.
Because I've had major back surgery, I have 4 screws in my back and I have a fusion in my spine. So not every day is the same day. Some days I bend my knees. Some days I will take my hips to the wall, like this. Some days I will come off the wall. It's safer. It helps my legs. Then I can really drop down.
Wow.
Can you see?
Yeah.
It's a nice way to get started. And then from the wall, I can come forward.
Okay.
So
all right.
It's finding how to do the pose from a different direction. Because you can't stay on the same road all the time in life. You have to take different pathways sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
and the beauty of yoga is it looks so graceful. It doesn't really look strenuous like some of the gym activities.
well,
so it just very peaceful.
Yes, it becomes, it is an art. It is graceful. It becomes graceful, but not everyone has the ability due to ailments, restrictions to be graceful right from the outset. Believe you me, had you seen me do a forward bend when I first started, you wouldn't be saying it looks so graceful.
All right. I can believe that, because I know when I try yoga.
Because I had major spinal problems. And when they asked me to bend and do a forward bending class, initially it was a no. So I used to say, I can't come forward, my back hurts. But
then that's the reason why it's always good to have a teacher.
I was educated not to use my back. It's nothing to do with the back. It's all to do with the legs.
Wow.
It's all legs.
So Uttanasana again stretches your hamstrings, your calves, your hips. It strengthens your thighs and knees, and it stimulates kidneys and liver. Of course, improves digestion. And the good part, like you said, is it reduces fatigue and anxiety, and also helps with insomnia. I know a lot of our viewers are suffering from restlessness and lack of sleep these days. Well, Uttanasana is the one for you. And I'm sure Neeta is just going to show us how to do it.
I'm going to show it in a restorative manner. And this is what I've been doing a lot, especially at this time, for people who have actually been suffering from lack of sleep and anxiety. And so this is a chair, this is a yoga chair, but you can do it on a yoga chair, like so. You can do it over any chair.
Yeah, like a dining table chair, maybe.
If you have a steady office chair or even an armchair. But the reason I'm using a pillow is because I'm a little taller than the top of the chair.
That can hurt.
Raise the height of this chair. And
Okay.
what this does, I'm still doing my Uttanasana. I'm taking my pelvis on the top of the chair. Now,
Okay.
my abdominal area is resting.
Okay.
You see? So with my abdominal area resting, it keeps the pelvis balanced.
Yes.
And at the same time, I'm not going to strain my lower back. The back of the legs are still doing their job. They're opening.
Yes, the hamstrings are stretched, the calves are stretched.
Everything is working. And then becomes restful. I can just drop my head and rest.
Yeah. I've heard it helps you calm the brain, helps relieve stress and depression as well.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Well, forward bends are designed anyway. They are calming, restful poses. Any forward bend, not just Uttanasana.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people who suffer from panic attacks or anxiety attacks. It's always recommended that they bend forward and put their head between their knees,
Yes.
which is essentially Uttanasana.
It's Uttanasana. You could do a baby pose. You could do Balasana. You just go into baby pose, head down. Anything head down. Downward facing dog is a little more energetic, but that's also calming.
Well, we know babies don't suffer from stress. So Balasana or Uttanasana is definitely something that we all will do.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit more about the Mula Bandha and how it takes care of the prana, the flow of prana.
How it takes care of the flow of prana. So, how can I? Well, in simple terms, I think sometimes there's a confusion between the breath and prana. Prana is your life force.
Okay. Yeah.
Prana is your life force, as I understand it. Okay, and the breath is your breath. So we breathe in and we breathe out. The thing is, it's very hard for people to breathe out completely in order for breath to come in. So when you breathe into the body and then you breathe out of the body, if we can take the breath out more than we normally do, so you completely breathe out. Now, do we ever completely breathe out? I don't know, hardly, I'm sure. But
we don't even think about it.
Right. So in the practice, when you're practicing, you practice. So the next step up from asana is pranayama, which is breath control. Yes. And pranayama is another standalone practice. You can incorporate it with your asana practice. You can do it after the asana practice. It becomes easier after the asana practice because the body has been physically opened up. So then the pathways. So when you practice your breathing and when you breathe in, if we can follow the breath out enough and keep the breath out, we then apply Mulabandh, which is our root lock.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And if you can apply a root lock, which is, just pulling up through the pelvic muscles or pulling up, it biologically depends who's practicing, whether it's a female or a male, right? Yes. So again, we're working through the pelvic muscles, pulling up through the pelvic muscles, engaging the muscles around the anus a little bit. So after you've exhaled, if you can keep the breath out and lock it, and that's called your root.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Then you get a lifting of the prana coming up through the abdominal wall into the navel area. And that is when you experience that flow, the prana that rides off the out breath.
Wow.
This is in very simple terms. It needs to be practiced. It needs to be experienced.
Yeah. But I think for beginners or people who have explored yoga,
I would teach it when I want to teach beginner. When I'm teaching, even in class, if I'm doing say Uttanasana, and they're already folded in half, I would say breathe in, breathe out in the pose, and then once you breathe out, keep the breath out. Touch your feet, lift the lower belly up, that is already
Okay.
the beginning of the lifting of the abdominal wall. If we can apply the lift of the pelvic muscles as well and bring that energy up into the abdominal area. So it's a lifting of the abdominal wall and flying up and back. From that, if we root down and then come back to standing, you're applying what we call your mulaband.
Okay.
You're
All right. I think
engaging
it's
your
so
band.
important.
I'm sorry?
It's so important for a teacher to guide you through this, because you need to be taken through a certain process, unless, of course, you reach a level when you can do it yourself,
Of course.
like you have. Yes.
Of course, but yes, absolutely. And at the end of the day, at the moment, we have yoga has become it's a worldwide phenomenon. Everyone is doing yoga. Everyone loves yoga, right? But there's nothing like being guided and nurtured along in a practice, and we all go to someone to learn.
Yes.
I have to go to my teachers to develop and learn. We all have someone we have to go to. There's always someone that's going to take us a little further.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neeta. This was such an interesting session. Now, Dr. Arun, I know we've not chatted with you much, but what I'm going to ask you is very critical to and very complementary to what Neeta has just taught us. So what can you tell us about some of the treatments that can balance the root chakra? I know Niraamaya Retreats offers a lot of Ayurvedic treatments. And while we are talking about our root chakra, what is it that we can do to enhance it or balance it better?
Coming to that, in the beginning, I was mentioning about the tridoshas, right?
Yes.
So,
I'm right with you.
tridoshas, I need to explain a little bit about the tridoshas.
Of course.
The tridoshas literally have like terminology which I mentioned, which are a combination of the Panchapudas. And these three doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And Vata is the one which is regulating the movement of everything inside our body. Even the locomotor system, the circulatory system, the gastrointestinal digestive system, everywhere Vata plays a major role. And the
All
Vata
the important systems.
Yes. And so Vata is composed of space and air. So it has the characteristic of lightness as well as movement. And Vata has 5 subdivisions, and it's called Prana, Udana, Vyana, Apana, and Samana Vata. So in that, I am coming to this relevant thing called Apana Vata, which is more connected to root chakra. Why I mentioned Apana Vata? Because earlier Ms. Neeta was mentioning about the root chakra and its the role in our body, its influence in our different systems. So considering that, corresponding to that same functions, according to Ayurveda, Apana Vata is very much related to that. It has several functions, like it helps in the proper functioning of male, female reproductive system, movements in the gastrointestinal tract, especially colon, cecum, and rectum, then the proper functioning of the urinary system, nervous system, which is in the lower part of the body, everything. And even the joints in the pelvic, pelvic area.
Yeah, you mentioned movement.
So everything is connected, and it is properly, everything is properly maintained in the typical way by the proper functioning of Apana Vata. When it gets vitiated or like polluted, it's called Apana Vata Vaigunya. It will lead to several ailments. During this functions, I mentioned about different systems. So when the Apana Vata affect one system, it causes some kind of ailment.
Yeah, because all of them are interlinked.
Yes, all are interlinked in that area connected to the Apana Vata. So Ayurveda recommends specific treatments to different conditions, not just for the entire root chakra as such, but for different conditions. There are different treatments mentioned, and it depends on the how it manifests. This problem manifests in our body.
Yeah, so every person is different, I guess. So it will affect everybody differently.
Yeah, and the doshic, the constitution of a body for an individual is different from another one. It's like a fingerprint. Like It's
Oh,
like
okay. All right.
unique for
Real thread.
unique
Yeah.
for every person.
Yes.
But we can group, like, for example, if I am a Vata Pitta, like Vata is predominant in my body, Pitta is
Okay.
secondary in my body, you might also be there, but the exact constitution will be a bit different. That's how it differs from one person to another.
That's true. Yes.
So that's considering those things, the Ayurvedic physician will like come into a decision which treatment to be given. And there are
Okay.
several treatments like Vasti, mainly Vasti, because
Okay.
it's more connected to the excretory system of our body,
Okay.
and also connected to we give this treatment for correcting the lower back pain and all. And Vasti is like Kadi Vasti, Kashaya Vasti,
Yeah. What
Sneha
exactly is
Vasti, like
Bhakti?
this.
I was going to ask what
Vasti,
exactly is
Yeah.
yeah,
What happens? What
Vasti,
do you do to the
it?
body?
yeah, Vasti, the word literally means bladder, urinary
Oh,
bladder of
okay.
sheep.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So
All
in
right.
ancient time, that bladder was processed, and it's like a leather pouch. It was
Ah,
filled with a medical medicines, like in different
okay.
forms. Oil will be there, honey will be there, kashaya will be there, like different like depending on which vasti we are doing, and
Okay.
it is being used to do it like an enema
Oh,
to a
so it
person. So
basically
that's
helps with
why
the
the word
expulsion
vasti.
of toxins, does it? So all these things
Yeah,
helps you
once it
remove
go.
the toxins. Okay.
Yeah, but Kadi Vasti is different one. That is an external
Okay.
Vasti. That is like
Acha.
we make a reservoir kind of thing above your Kadi area. There are different Vastis like that. External Vastis like Uro Vasti in the chest area,
Okay.
Shiro Vasti in the head. Kadi Vasti is
Oh,
mainly
okay.
for the Kadi area. Kadi means lower back area. So
Ah,
Kadi
I
Vasti, why
think
I
I have
mentioned, because
seen that. Yes.
hmm,
Yeah. Isn't
it's
it
very famous and the
circulated
pictures
well?
are
Yes. Yes.
very famous.
Absolutely. Yes. That's right. Yeah.
Because
Oh,
lower back
fantastic.
pain is a major concern with modern lifestyles,
Did
Yes.
I
lack of
do? I don't
exercise.
think I
Neeta, we
did
are going to it.
Vasti. I don't think I did this treatment when I came to Niraamaya. I don't think we did Vasti.
Okay. You come
Yeah,
back soon and we will do it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
when you said like an enema, is it? I'm a little confused. Is it like having here in the West? A
But
lot of people do colonic irrigation, but that
uh,
doesn't help with back. That's
I,
not back related. Well, it could be, but
yeah, but I will tell you, don't correlate. It's better not to correlate the word enema with vasti,
oh, I
because
see.
yeah, because why I mentioned enema, because the procedure itself is like injecting this through the anus
Okay.
of the person, so it will reach to the colon area,
Oh,
the
I
sigmoid
see.
colon and rectum area,
That's just one
the
part of the
medicinal.
Vasti, right?
Yeah, that is internal type of vasti which we are
Okay.
doing.
Yeah.
There are different vastis are also there, internal vastis, like depending on the medicines or things which we are using and the quantity. Kashaya vasti is a
Okay.
bigger quantity of medicines which we will inject.
Okay.
So then apart from vastis, there are treatments like localized piju. Piju is like a treatment of wet cotton placed on one area, but it's wet with oil, medicated oil.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right.
for injuries and all, mainly given for lower area, lower back pain and all. Like
So
if there
I've
is
had
a
that when I've been to Niraamaya, when I first came, not
Mhm,
yourself, Dr. Arun, somebody else
mhm,
had done a lot of these localized lower back where they used a
mhm,
combination of oils and
Yeah.
whatever
mhm,
you used, and as you say, a cloth put on the lower
mhm,
back, and
Yes.
that was
mhm,
done, during the course of all the Ayurvedic, those lovely
mhm.
treatments that we're missing this year. We're missing some of this, our
It's good to
annual.
learn the procedures. That's nice to understand the benefits of each treatment.
Yes.
That is very
Yeah.
interesting for, like, you should experience, and when you get the benefit, you will love it. How it transforms
I'm
our body.
looking forward to coming back and having, you can just prescribe and do prescribe everything you think I need, and I will
Mhm,
take it on board as long as I can then take you on the yoga mat And we can go through all
Yeah,
the asana practices for you as well. So
sure. Looking forward for
Sounds
that.
like a plan. Yeah.
And
Fantastic. Yeah. What else?
after this treatment, like one thing I want to add is like what the Ayurvedic system which gives us. It also advises, like when I mentioned about how the when we how to tackle the situation when Apanavada get vitiated.
Hmm.
But there are certain things Ayurveda says how to keep your body healthy without this vadas or any doshas getting vitiated.
Yeah. How to
Apanavada,
prevent the issues?
yes, how to prevent it. It's a preventive way. So there are mentioning that how Apanavada get vitiated. So one thing, like natural urges we have, like micturition, like when you need to go to a washroom or when you
Okay.
want to yawn yourself. So there are different urges in our body, even cough
Hmm.
or sneezing, anything.
Yes.
So it's advisable not to hold any urges.
That's
So
right.
when
Yes.
you hold the urges or Veda Dharana, we call it, it vitiates the Apanavada. Other factors like dry and cold food, excessive exercise. Excessive means Ayurveda also mentions about the correct duration. Duration means the signs which our body
Uh-huh.
shows when to stop the exercise or
yes,
Oh,
when to
okay.
do that.
Okay. All right.
Who is not advisable to do such exercises. And
Yes.
even for sleep also there are advices like who is supposed to have a sleep in the daytime. Generally, it doesn't advise daytime sleep, but
Oh,
certain conditions. So it
okay.
touches every
No
type
afternoon
of
naps for
lifestyle of
us.
different professions.
Okay. I know a lot of people love
No,
their
it's not
afternoon
advisable.
naps. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Everyone loves it, but
It's just an
yeah.
indulgence. It
So
doesn't help your body at all.
those are a luxury to us when we come to India for
Yes.
our annual
uh,
holidays. The
Yeah.
afternoon naps are what we look forward to after
but
all.
it allows the afternoon naps, the daytime sleeps, but
Yeah,
to certain people and certain conditions. I'm just mentioning that because
yeah,
Ayurveda touches all type of
Yes.
lifestyles. Like
It's all
uh,
encompassing.
yeah, students. It mentions about students, people who are pregnant, old age, different age group,
Okay. That's
kind of.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And while I'm
on the,
taking my massage, I'm sure I can go off to sleep while somebody is massaging my back or putting some nice medicated oil on it. I'm hoping I can take my nap that way.
no, of course, like yeah, that's the time you need to relax because the one point is it's a base of relaxation to take out the stress.
That's
It refreshes our mind also. So that kind of a nap is surely you have to take it. When it comes, don't hold it. It's a natural urge also.
oh
In
yes.
that way, in that way, it contradicts.
but sometimes, Poonam, it's not about the nap, it's about taking the 10-15 minutes rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah. Cat nap.
when no, not even a cat nap. I'm talking, don't talk nap or sleep. I'm talking rest.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
different. So in
Yes.
yoga, what we say is if you're feeling exhausted, tired, drained, mentally, you've been, okay, as you say, sitting behind a desk, looking at your screen, just come away from it, go and get
Mhm.
grounded, lie on the
Mhm.
floor. Maybe you can rest
Mhm.
your legs on a chair or just
Okay.
elevate your legs, put maybe a cloth on your eyes, close your eyes. It's about
Mm.
resting the senses more
Yeah.
than having a cat nap or actually trying to fall asleep.
Okay.
Because if you rest
True.
your senses and go back to your breath and get grounded, the earth itself, the earth energy is reviving you.
Yes,
If you fall
that's true.
asleep,
Yeah.
fine. But if you
That's
don't fall asleep, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
of course. Like rest is Ayurveda never say to hold your like when you stress you need to take rest. So the way how to take rest, like you mentioned, is very healthy. Like
Yeah,
when we connected more to Mother Earth, so that's how it uh, recharges us.
it really does. You ever
It
tried
does.
it, Poonam?
plug yourself into the Mother Earth charger.
I mean, that is what I will do in the middle of my day, because I start so early. And if I'm teaching in the evening, I will take that 10, I would allow 20 minutes, but then I've got the 20 minutes window to get settled, lie on the floor, maybe put a cover on myself, close my eyes, and tap back into calming down the senses.
Yeah.
Because
In
it's
fact,
about the nervous system. I think Dr. Arun would agree. It's all about also balance, keeping the nervous system in check.
Yeah. In fact, I think also that's how Shavasana also helps at the end of the entire yoga asanas.
The most important
Shavasana,
posture, the most important pose, the most loved by most, but it actually is one of the most important poses.
And again, because you are lying down, your spine is connected to the earth. You're just you're recharging yourself. That's the fastest charger for your body, everyone.
I agree.
Okay. And while we're talking on Muladhara, I just wanted to check with Dr. Arun. Do factors like fear or anger, do they affect your root chakra? Because we did speak about root chakra affecting anger.
Yeah, of course, there are emotional things also. It's very much connected to the Apana Vada. For example, like when you are stressed, you feel like some people feel the need of going to washroom, or some people feel a bit of constipation, even micturition, like more production of urine. The bladder gets filled like that. Those are like simple signs which you can feel and you can understand it's connected. And there are other factors like which I earlier started, like dry and cold food, which is not a healthy habit. And also lack of proper sleep at night, and the malnutrition also causes this kind of problems. And the Aganduja reasons. Aganduja means acute or injuries, accidents, which
That
affect the
causes
marmas.
trauma. Yes, that's true.
Trauma or accidents, these also, or injury to the vital points in our body called marmas. This affects Apana Vata. And
so
among
that
these
is what
factors,
blocks the chakra?
That affects the Apana Vata, which is like very much connected to the root chakra.
All right.
And among this, like the fear and anger causes blockage, proper blockage of the proper functioning of Apana Vata.
Okay. All right. So are there any foods or maybe herbs or supplements that we can keep as a part of our diet that will help us in the healthy functioning of the Mooladhara or the root chakra?
Yes, of course. There are healthy food or like fruits, vegetables. Every doctor will say to have a healthy diet, more fibrous food. Among vegetables, more fibrous food is very much good for Apana Vata or Mooladhara.
And also your gastrointestinal tract. The more fiber, the better it is for it to function well. Yes.
Yeah. And Triphala, or like which includes three fruits called Amlagi, Vipidagi, and Haridagi. It's called the Indian gooseberry, Behara, or black myroblum, and also very famous. Like now, it's very famous in modern world about Ayurveda called Ashwagandha, which is one among the main most popular one. That Ashwagandha is having very much beneficial to the healthy functioning of Mooladhara and Apana Vata.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
At the same time, if you can include sesame oil in your diet, that will also help in this.
So I know Asian cooking uses a lot of sesame oil. What is it that how do we include it? Is it while cooking it? So do you heat the oil and then put your vegetables and cook it, or more like a salad dressing?
No, not like salad dressing. Like what I mentioned is that you use oil for cooking. So you can choose sesame oil for correcting the Apana Vata.
Okay, so we can have some nice stir fry, which is done in sesame oil. And that is something
Right.
which is delicious and
Yeah.
at the same time takes care of our balance of root chakra. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. If there is a problem with our Apanada, you can detect that like from the science, like how it manifests in our body. Then you can
Okay.
shift to sesame oil for cooking.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. I think I'm going to take that tip and start including a little bit of sesame oil in my food as well. So, Ayurveda, I know the procedures, the lifestyle corrections, diet, herbal medications, all are advised, and everything needs to be customized based on, like you said, it's a fingerprint. So, my dosha is going to be different from yours,
Yeah.
even though the constitution may be, say, maybe a vata pitta or pitta kapha, that kind of a combination. So, fantastic.
Exactly, Poonam. One more thing, like
Yes.
this, the different customized diet for different conditions which you mentioned now. You also asked about the diet which you suggest for the Apanavada.
Yes.
But
Yes.
for conditions which the ailments which is caused by the Apanavada, to correct that, certain specialized diet we can mention, the Ayurvedic physician can
Oh,
mention,
okay.
but
All right.
that is customized based on the body constitution of a person.
Okay. All right. You know, the biggest concern or fear people tend to have before getting into any Ayurveda or yoga practices is that it's very restrictive. But from our talks, I see that neither yoga nor the practice of Ayurveda is restrictive, but it's all encompassing. It allows you to customize a lot of things. Food needn't be bland, it can be tasty. The postures needn't be strenuous and something that you fear, but they can be something that can relax you totally. So it's not very difficult to really take care of our bodies. So thank you, Neeta and Dr. Arun, for this. This has been a lovely, very, very informative session. And I love the wonderful insights that I have got. I'm sure I'm implementing a lot of these tips that you've given, and I'm hoping all our viewers do too. I'm sure they've learned a lot about their own bodies and its first chakra. Well, we all know the roots are absolutely vital to any plant's health. And if the roots are unhealthy, so is the plant. Similarly, our body's health depends on how robust and healthy your root is. So today's session has given us, all of us, a little bit more understanding and tips to balance this chakra. We would love to hear from you, our viewers, what you think of this session and what you would like us to include to make it more beneficial to you. So write to us, comment on this video, and stay tuned for the next video in this session where your journey continues to the next chakra, the sacral chakra. Till then, take care, stay healthy, and stay safe.
Thank you, Poonam. Thank you,
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.